If guys got raped and pregnant, there would be abortions available on every corner. Every street corner, you'd have a different clinic that would take care of the problem.
So Howard Stern said a few things I really agree with. One of them is that if men got pregnant, there wouldn't be an abortion debate. Long ago, back in like early 90s, there was a comic named Chris Collins. And Chris was hilarious. And one of his bits was about abortion. And he said, if men got pregnant, you'd be able to get an abortion at a vending machine. It is absolutely true. Howard Stern said it. Listen, men were ready to tear down and burn up the country over wearing a mask. How do you feel? How do you think they would feel if the government told them, oh, you're pregnant? You have to have the baby. You have to carry the pregnancy to term. We don't care if it's wanted, unwanted. We don't care if you're a victim of a rape, whatever. You're pregnant. You have no choice. How do you think guys who were ready to blow up the Capitol over wearing a mask would feel about that? But again, they don't have to worry about it because men don't get pregnant. I've always said men shouldn't have any word in this abortion debate until a man gets pregnant.
This all started because of this electoral college. And, I've got a real problem with this idea, the concept that the majority of the people in the United States do not get what they want.
Okay, this issue, Howard Stern took it back to the Electoral College, but I don't just blame the Electoral College. I blame the Democratic Party. Why? Because you didn't get Hillary Clinton in office. You didn't visit Michigan, and you didn't pound into people's minds how important the Supreme Court is. And this is what we get. What do we get, people? We get a right-wing Supreme Court that we knew from the start was going to do away with abortion. They want to get everybody a gun. And if they can stop black people from voting, well, that's just a bonus, isn't it?
How much more of this bull that some hillbilly in South Dakota gets a more important vote because he lives in South Dakota?
Now, Howard knocked hillbillies from South Dakota, and I say with no offense to hillbillies or South Dakota, the Electoral College system is broken because the country has changed. When the Constitution was written, this was a rural farming country. Population centers have moved to the cities, population centers have moved to the coasts, and it shouldn't be that, it shouldn't be weighted equally, okay? But this would be up to the Democrats. This would be up to the Democrats. And I said this before, I will say this again. If a Republican, and it's never going to happen, but if a Republican ever won the popular vote and lost the Electoral College and lost the presidential election, the Republicans would destroy the Electoral College. It would be their number one thing, and they would do it. Why? Because Republicans get things done, okay? I don't agree with them. I don't agree with their methods, but they get things done. Can you imagine a Republican winning the popular vote and losing the election? No, you can't, because it would never happen. They would change the entire system. The Constitution means nothing to them. They're just about power and control, and that's what they've got. Legislate from the bench, like I said, it's fine as long as they're doing it. Then there's no problem with it. And the Democrats, they talk, they act outraged, blah, 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 and they do nothing. I'm sorry. Nothing gets done.
The Supreme Court is now the Fox News of justice, in my mind. They are it is a cynical pursuit in the same way that Fox News would come out with, we're fair and balanced, under the patina of what would be a high status pursuit to the betterment of society, journalism. They are a cynical political arm. And when you look at the ridiculous kabuki theater now of justice confirmation, where they can just go out there and just lie. Like, if this were about debate, then they would have understood what perjury meant.
Hi, guys. I'm Maz Jobrani. That's Maz Jobrani. That's Maz Jobrani. You're surrounded by Maz Jobranis. Well, the Supreme Court is on a roll. They are just taking away rights left and right and giving away rights left and right in any way they want. They took away Roe versus Wade. They're now limiting the EPA's ability to actually control pollution. And they said, you know what? You should be able to carry guns in New York. That's a great idea. That's all New York needs. More people carrying guns so they can shoot each other in a densely populated city. Yes! Look, folks, this all comes back to elections. This can all go back to previous elections and more recently to the 2016 election, when some people were like, nah, I'm not going to vote for Hillary. I don't like her. Or I'm just going to sit this one out. Or you know what? I'm just going to try voting for Trump. It'll be fun. He's an outsider. Well, now you see, it wasn't about voting for Hillary or sitting this one out or voting for Trump on a lark just because it was fun. It was about losing your rights to abortion. It was about getting a court that is so extreme and so far right and so Handmaid's Tale. Who knows what's coming next? Clarence Thomas told us what's coming next. They're going to go after gay marriage and contraception. Who knows what else? These people are cuckoo. Amy Coney Barrett said, have your babies, I'll adopt them. Clarence Thomas said the vaccines come from fetuses. Clarence Thomas's wife is cuckoo, Ginny Thomas, and they love each other. Listen, Clarence Thomas doesn't even say things like, look, my wife and I disagree on a lot of stuff, but I love her. No, he straight up is like, I love her, I love her, I love her. Please do me a favor. After you watch this video, go and just read, just YouTube, or Google Ginny Thomas. Just see how crazy she is. Google Clarence Thomas. You'll see how crazy. These people are nuts. And what's happened is people with influence, people with money who wanted the court to judge cases that will benefit them financially pushed for these nut jobs to end up on the Supreme Court. Conservatives who say they want less government so that they can have companies, their coal companies, pollute the air. Guys like the Koch brothers, other big industries, they're all behind all of this stuff. The gun lobby, they're all behind all of this stuff. Controlling women. The abortion, Roe versus Wade wasn't about, oh my God, I love babies, which some of them do, and some of them are cuckoo. Everybody loves babies, but an abortion isn't killing a baby. An abortion is getting rid of a pregnancy that you either are not ready for, or the baby has problems, or there's health issues. There's a million reasons why people get abortions. But these guys want to control women. It's not about them saying, oh, let's save a baby. Because let's face it, once the baby comes out, they don't do anything for the baby, right? Once the baby needs to go to school and all that other stuff, they don't want to provide public education. They don't want to provide assistance to the mom who's a single mom who's trying to raise all these kids. They don't want to do any of that stuff. They want to throw these kids in jail once they're out. But when they're babies, when they're fetuses, they love the babies. So we ask ourselves, do they love the babies or do they love the power? Do they love controlling women? This court is nuts. And again, it all goes back to elections. So if you're watching this, I want you, as soon as you're done, before you Google Ginny Thomas and before you Google Clarence Thomas, I want you to register to vote and make sure you vote. And make sure you vote for people who have progressive ideas. We got to move forward. These people are taking us backwards. As Jon Stewart said in that clip, they're taking us backwards.